Yugoslav Wars were a series of separate but ethnic conflicts, wars of independence and insurgencies fought in the former Yugoslavia from 1991 to 2001, which led to the breakup of the Yugoslav state in 1992. The Bosnian War was part of the breakup of Yugoslavia. The Bosnian War was characterized by bitter fighting, indiscriminate shelling of cities and towns, ethnic cleansing and systematic mass rape, mainly perpetrated by Serb and to a lesser extent Croat and Bosniak forces. The UK agreed to join the UN force to protect humanitarian convoys in Bosnia. The British soldiers were first deployed to Bosnia in 1992 during the country's vicious civil war. They were sent as peacekeepers and to protect the ones being persecuted.
So how do combat stress help people with PTSD? And would you be able to describe what some of the symptoms of PTSD are?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one symptom that you guys will relate to. Do you ever, when you go to your tests, your exams, and you feel that horrible feeling, you feel like your stomach's twisting inside? Well, it starts like that. That's basically anxiety. You got the bubbling feeling, and really what it is the blood is rushing away from your stomach to go to the rest of your muscles in case you need to run, the fight or flight, and that's basically what it is, and we all feel it. But with symptoms, it gets worse. You can contain it for a while, and then it comes out, it can manifest itself in heart palpitations. You might think, oh God, I'm having a heart attack. Or you might think, I could feel like melting chocolate in my head, am I having a brain bleed or something? And it's all very dramatic, and you start to feel a little bit like a hypochondriac. You think, oh my God, there's something wrong with me now. But with me, it stopped me sleeping. My brain just went, you're staying awake. And that was it. And I couldn't concentrate. That was a big thing for me. It was like being on a merry-go-round, but I was the only one that was stationary. I wasn't moving. Everything else was moving, and I couldn't keep up with conversation. People would talk to me or tell me stuff, and I wouldn't remember anything. Like, I'd be like, are you sure we've had this conversation? Because my brain just shut off. I couldn't actually take in any more information. And a psychologist told me it was like having a cup. Whenever your cup's full, you can't pour any more water in it, so you have to let some out. And that's the same as your brain. You have to let some of that pressure out.
Okay, so did you know the dangers of war and how you could be affected by it mentally?
Absolutely. From the very first day I went and applied. They left absolutely nothing out. The oath of allegiance is pretty much you signing your life away to your queen and country. But you don't care, because you're young and you don't care, and you think, oh well, I'll be alright. Nah, be alright, and if I die, oh well, I won't know about it, will I? It'll be quick, hopefully. But you hope for the best. You hope it'll be a quick round, it'll be a quick shot and you're dead. Or you get back and you're fine. But what your hope is that you don't end up suffering.
So do you think veterans should be told about PTSD beforehand?
Yeah, I think, it wouldn't hurt to make them aware that these things can happen and just tell them what sort of signs to look out for, not just in themselves, but more importantly for other people. Because a lot of people have asked me, could you not have got help when you were there? You absolutely can. The problem is you don't know that you actually need help. You don't know that these feelings are affecting you, but other people can see things. When I tell my friends now, my best friend that was in the army, I told her a few months ago, and she just burst into tears and felt guilty because she said she should have known. I said, well, you were in Bosnia, you didn't come back like a normal person, how could you know? But yeah, maybe just sort of educate people, this is what could happen if your mate comes back from an operational theatre, look out for signs, it would be a good thing. But I wouldn't want to put people off thinking, that's a nightmare, I would never want to do that, because it's always bad. It's not always bad. So good comes from bad.
Would you be comfortable sharing one of your most vivid memories of being in Bosnia?
No, not at all. Oh, I mean, yes, that'd be comfortable. I don't mind. Yeah, I'll share. I'm trying to think one that would. There's quite a few. One of the things I think affected me was not being able to do enough for kids, really. There was a lot of children and they didn't have food, they didn't have anything. And we couldn't actively get involved because it would be seen as if we were taking sides and we would be sent away. And the last thing you wanted was for anybody, including the press, particularly the press, for us to be seen doing something for a particular child, because then they'd say, oh, you're favoritism. So what I used to do was throw my lunchbox when I used to get it in the morning, and I'd drive to either Sarajevo or Banja Split. It's about a 6-hour drive, and I would throw it out the window because there would be kids there at the side of the road. So if I threw it out, they could go get it themselves. But if I was seen, not only by the press and press pressure or anything like that, taking sides, but actually you could do the kids harm, because if they were seen taking help from the soldier, they used to stone them to death. Not nice. So of course, you don't want to put a kid's life in danger like that, but at the same time you don't actually want to see them starve. So the frustration of being torn between, do I help, how can you walk away from a human being who what is in need? But at the same time, am I going to harm them more by helping? So that was difficult. That was very difficult.
Did your experience in the Troubles affect your decision to join the army? Absolutely,
yeah. It made me a very angry teenager. I was fed up with not being able to, do you know what, I'm not one for listening to moaning. I'm more get active and fix things. Don't just go, that's wrong. So I joined the army because I thought at least if I could do something to try and fix this. So no child would have to grow up like I did. If I can do one little thing to change the future, then it'll be well worth it. So yeah, it probably was quite a large reason why I joined the army, as well as growing up in a military family and just thinking I want adventure, but also I wanted to change things. I wanted to change the world for the better.
Did you know anything about the culture of Bosnia and Serbia, and did you like anything about it?
Well, the culture, to be honest, I was sort of a teenager when all the stuff in Bosnia. I remember hearing it on the news and thinking, that's terrible, but never really understood it. And to be honest, I didn't really understand even when I was there, because I was still thinking, why are these people fighting in such a beautiful country? When you go there, you think, there's no way there's a war going on in this stunning country, no way. But no, I didn't like, they were basically, what's the word, ethnic cleansing. It was just horrific. People killing people because of their differences in beliefs. It's just insane. It reminded me very much of growing up in Ireland, where you had Protestants and Catholics and they wouldn't meet and stupid things like that. So to me that was just as mad and hard to understand as any war, really. I can't understand why humans would do that to humans, you know. It was an experience. Sometimes you saw people who hated you. Sometimes you saw people who would look at you with so much hate that would make your stomach clench, because you'd think, God, you really would just destroy me if you could. And then you get people that would come out of their homes or shops, and like a woman shut her door in a shop, and I thought, what the hell's going on? It was a little local shop we would go to, and she held both my hands and thanked me for being there. Just thanked us for keeping her safe, and told us that she slept better because she knew we were there. And I kind of related a lot to what she said, because I remember my time in Ireland when I lived there, and obviously with the terrorists and all that, knowing the police and army were there, it did make you sleep better, you know. And I had one incident when there was a little kid.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's up in my eye.
Don't say anything you don't feel you want to say.
No, that's cool. No, this little kid, he was starving. He'd lost his family. And we weren't allowed to do anything, feed him or anything. I couldn't bear it. I'll probably get into trouble for even saying this now, but I used to chuck my lunchbox out the window so we could have it. Because I knew where I was going, I'd get fed. I'd look at him and he just reminded me of me when I lived in Ireland. That desperate look, that empty look he had in his eyes, that he's seen some terrible stuff.